boys of class 7 English version. Welcome you to the online class of agriculture. In last class we've finished chapter 6 and that was the last topic of our syllabus. Now we have in third term syllabus chapter 2, 4 and 6. Only 6 was the new topic and chapter 2 is our previous topic which we have finished in first term syllabus. This is our revision chapter. So today I will start chapter 2, and chapter 2 is about agricultural technology. So I will start today the first lesson, that is on field technique used in agriculture. So let us start. At first we should know some basic techniques that is used in field, and for that at first let us know about irrigation. Actually irrigation is supply of water to land or crops to help growth of crops when it is needed for crops. That is, if there is condition that crops and land is not getting water, on that time we have to supply water for the growth of plant. Irrigation is done from different water resources like rivers, canals, lakes, ponds, wells, deep tube wells, etc. The resources should be very near and easier to supply water to the cropland. On basis of that, resource is selected. Now, why you should irrigation? Let us know. Actually, irrigation provides water to crops during shortage of water of crops land. That is the basic thing, that when water is needed, on that time we supply water, and that is known about irrigation. This is given for the better growth of crops. We know without irrigation in the drought season crops cannot survive. For perennial crops irrigation is very necessary because it improvement their production. In desert area growth of plants is possible for irrigation only. Now sometime irrigation water is wasted. Now let us know how the irrigation water is wasted. Wastage of irrigation water is cost extra labor, because if the water is waste, then again the farmer have to give water, and that cost labor and also money. That's why care should be taken that wastage of irrigation water not happened. There are some ways that irrigation water is wasted. Amongst all the process, some ways are very responsible for wastage of irrigation water, and these are evaporation, trickling down of water, and leaking of water. Now let us know about these three process, how irrigation water is wasted. First of all, let us know about evaporation. We know that evaporation means when water is convert vapor from liquid state in the sunshine. So from crop field, like other resources of water evaporated by the radiation of heat and sun. So that cannot be stopped, but there is some process or way we have to follow, that evaporation can't go through like others resources. So this is evaporation, how irrigation water is evaporate and wastage. Second process was trickling down of water. And what is trickling down actually? When irrigated water passes through weir pockets through the porous soil, trickle down through soil layers. That means from one layer to another layer of soil, water passes through the pores and air pockets, then the layer which needs the water don't stay on that layer and go downwards. So that how this water is wasted. Maximum times it occurs if there is no impervious layer of soil which can stop trickle down of water. That means we have to make another solid layer under the cropland above layer of soil, because that layer don't let water to go downward. So that is another way how we can stop trickling down of water. Now last but not least, that is leaking of water. This is actually same process of trickling, but in trickling down the water goes downward, and in leaking of water it goes sideways to another plot, and if that plot is not necessary of irrigation, then also the water is going through that plot. This is happens mostly for rats, because rats makes holes in the alleys, and through these alleys the water passes through the next field. So this is another way how leaking is happen and water is wasted. Now let us know how we can increase the effectiveness of irrigation, and if the effectiveness can increase of irrigation, then production should be good, because it helps to enhance the production of crops. Basically, irrigation utility increasing if sufficiently and timely irrigation is done in crop field. Then also irrigation is more effective if following steps are taken. So if following steps we can take, then it should be beneficiary for the crops. Now let us see the steps what we can do. Supply required amount of water. That means if the crop field need suppose 100 liter of water, then we only supply 100 liter of water, not more than that and not short of that. That should be good for the crop field. Next, irrigation at a proper time. Now if the crop field need irrigation on the next week, but we giving the irrigation this week, then it should be not beneficiary for the crops. And even if it is needed on next week and we give week after next week, then it shouldn't be also good for the crops. So we have to supply water when it is needed. So the proper time, if we do it, then it should be better for the crops. Alleys are to be made strong around the cropland, because rats can't make holes on that alleys, and crops irrigation water shouldn't go on other land. That's why we need to make alleys strong. Irrigation in the morning or evening, because in the daytime if we do irrigation, then it evaporate and losses happens, but in the morning and evening the sun is not that much heat gives, so it the water convert into vapor in less amount compared to daytime or midday. That is why if irrigation is done on morning and evening, that should be better for the crops. Irrigation should be furrows between lines if the plants are planted in lines. That means if the plants are it's not crop field, it's plant, then irrigation should be done in furrows, because when the plants are in a line, not through all space it needs irrigation, it's only need on the bottom of the plant. That's why when plants are planted on line wise or in a line, then we should irrigate the plants in furrows. That is the process of irrigation. Texture of soil should be taken in account while estimating the need for the water to be supplied. That means, what is the condition of soil, how much water it can contain. Everything should be taken account, because not all type of soil contain same amount of water, or can stagnate same amount of water, or hold same amount of water. Like clay soil, there are loamy soil, sandy soil. So not all type of soil at the same texture and the capacity of holding water. So it should be taken in mind and in consideration before supply of water. Right method of irrigation should be selected. Like earlier we have discussed that if the plant are planted in a line, then we have to follow furrow irrigation, and there are so many different way of different type of crops and different type of plants for irrigate, and we have to follow the right method for the right land and right crops. Slope of the irrigation channel should be given towards the crop land. That means the flow of water should be towards the land, because from the water reservoir, water sources, if the slope is on the different direction, then water to supply the water to cropland should be more difficult. That is why the channel should be towards the cropland. Rats should be controlled if you can. Then it's very effective for the crops, that rats not only makes holes in the alleys, it also makes destroying, also make destroy the crops. So if it is possible, rats should be controlled in the crop field. And last but not least, sufficient organic matter should be mixed with the soil of the crop plant. That should be increase the effective of irrigation. So boys, we have today learned about how irrigation water is wasted, and how we can make more effective the irrigation for the crops. So go through the chapters and topic in the book, and if you have anything question in your mind, then ask me in the comment section. In the next lesson we will do another topic from this chapter for revision. Okay boys, stay fine at home, study properly. Okay, so bye for today.